What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome in, welcome back, welcome in, welcome back. What is going on, guys? It is Thursday, June 25th, almost 2 p.m., coming at you with some WNBA and World Cup action. No MLB, no Major League Baseball today. If I had to do it, and I'm gonna try to keep these videos short and sweet for you because I always got a lot of bets, so I got to get through them all, and I don't want to keep you for like 20 minutes. So if I was gonna bet MLB today, and the reason I'm not is because I'd be going against the two best pitchers, one in the American League, one in the National League, and that's Chris Sanchez of the Phillies and Cam Schlittler of the Yankees, and I just can't see it. Nationals and Red Sox were on the radar as underdogs. Is all we bet is are underdogs in Major League Baseball, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to pass on baseball completely today and just focus on WNBA, which we went 7-3 yesterday, 7 wins, only 3 losses. And Major League Baseball yesterday, we went 4-2, which was awesome. All underdogs, all plus money. So we gained a few units there. And then our World Cup bets were trash. It was so bad. We hit 2 of the plus money corner bets, but I, everything else was not good. Not good. Early goals kind of fucked things up. That Haiti Morocco thing was crazy. But what a match and great people. From what I understand, I have boots on the ground here in Atlanta at the World Cup, so that's pretty cool. And let's get into today's card. Let's get to the window, man. WNBA. It's three games tonight. I've got about 3 bets in each game, but I've got one game where the injury report, the model, and everything are all pointing in the same direction. That's that Los Angeles and Toronto game tonight. I'm in World Cup mode. I've got one game where my spreadsheet and everything and the sharp money agrees and it's just screaming underdog, and it's an ugly, ugly underdog, and it's New York, Seattle, so you probably already know who the underdog is. And then the messy one is Dallas, Las Vegas. This could go really well or it could get really ugly for me, but I'm here for it. That's why I do the homework. That's why I do the research. That's why you're here, because you got some gambling in you and you want to find a way to make some money doing this thing outside of working for somebody who doesn't appreciate you. You are appreciated. But let's put this money to work, man. Let's make it happen. First up, LA and Toronto, the Sparks and the Tempo. The first play is over 178.5. It's just the cleanest data point on the card for the WNBA today. Last time they met, the last 2 times they met, it was 99-95 and 106-96, and they set this total at 178. I know Kelsey Plum's out. That doesn't bother me at all because Erica Wheeler's a baller. She actually got All-Star Game MVP several years ago. Ariel Atkins can hoop. Ray Burrell, she's healthy now. She's holding her own. No Cameron Brink in the middle, so no 6'5" blonde clogging up the lane. They're going to go up and down, and Toronto's defense is a sieve. They just give up points. So they give up 91 points a game to be exact themselves. And with LA going smaller, it's going to be a fast-paced game. No Brittany Sykes to control the tempo for the tempo. And yeah, pun intended there. But I like the over 178.5, Los Angeles and Toronto, the Sparks and the Tempo. We're also taking the Toronto Tempo on the money line. I think their overall team play is going to be better. It's a tough travel spot for LA, coming off a really emotional win against the New York Liberty. I just think the Plum injury will be too much. Again, no Cameron Brink. So they've got injuries of their own with Toronto, but I think Toronto has enough home court and enough mojo to overcome it. So we're taking Toronto on the money line as well. And then last bet for this game, we're taking Marina Mabry. They set her point total at 22.5 points. We're taking her over 22.5. She is their offensive option, point blank period. If Kelsey Plum were playing tonight, LA would have more options to slow her down, lock her down. But without Kelsey Plum in the game, I said about Erica Wheeler, she got All-Star Game MVP several years ago, and Ariel Atkins can hoop. The issue is not that; it's the defense won't be there. And Marina Mabry is just she's a scorer, just natural born scorer. So Marina Mabry over 22.5 points. The next game up is going to be, this one's ugly. Seattle Storm against New York Liberty. I've got Seattle at plus 12.5. I just think the number is too big. The New York Liberty do not cover big spreads on the road, and that is an absolute fact. You can look it up. You can look up all the data points, and I could tell you all this, but they do not cover big spreads on the road. They don't cover big spreads in general. That is just the New York Liberty way. It has been for a while, even more so without now that Sandy Brondello's not coaching there anymore. Young guy, new team, getting the chemistry together. So Seattle plus 12.5 is the play. And then Breanna Stewart over 19.5 points. She used to play in Seattle for several years before they traded her to New York when they blew up the whole team. But every time she returns back to Seattle, she's gonna shine. So her over 19.5 points is just Breanna Stewart homecoming. Sabrina Ionescu's from there. Maybe a breakout game for her as she played at Oregon. But wait, Oregon and Seattle, Washington. Never mind. Disregard. What an idiot. But that being said, Satu Sabali as well is not 100%. So if the situation helps the case, if she's out, Stewie's got to do more. But Breanna Stewart over 19.5 points and Seattle plus 12.5. Next game is where shit gets messy. Las Vegas Aces minus 5.5. I don't love this bet, but I'm not getting in front of this train that is the Las Vegas Aces, and they're coming into their own. And they just lost to the Liberty, and they got beat down by the Liberty. And the Liberty did their thing. I think they need a big time bounce back to prepare themselves for Tuesday's Commissioner's Cup game. I was mistaken in the last pod and said the Commissioner's Cup was this past Tuesday. It's this coming Tuesday. It's in New York. Vegas is coming off, like I said, an embarrassing loss to the Liberty on Tuesday. And I think this is a get right focus spot. Dallas is young on the road. They are not good. They've proven that by night before last or whenever it was, by almost losing to Seattle and having to go to overtime to win that game. So they've been on the road for a minute. They've been on the road all week. They hadn't been home, hadn't slept in their beds. Give me Las Vegas minus a 5.5. And we're taking the over in the game as well. Dallas doesn't play great defense, point blank period. Vegas can when they want to, but they will also run with you. Vegas can play any way you want to play, and if Dallas wants to run, which they will, we're taking the over 177.5. And then first on the prop side, we got Jessica Shepard over 13.5 points. I don't understand this line. I was going to take her points, rebounds, and assists, but I found her points at plus money. So I'm only going to take Jessica Shepard over 13.5 points. And not the rebounds and assist thing, because I know she can ball on this team. She had a 22 point, 20 rebound, 10 assist triple double when they played in Dallas last. So you're setting her point total at 13.5. Maybe somebody knows something I don't know, but I'll pay to find out. Jessica Shepard over 13.5 points. And I think it's the last one. Yeah. And the last bet of the night in the WNBA is AZ Fudd over 1.5 made threes. She's hit this in, I believe, 6 or 7 straight games, over 1.5 threes. And the juice is a little steep. She's averaging about 4.5 attempts a game and hitting around 38% of them. So asking her to hit 2 in this spot is completely reasonable, as I think they'll be playing from behind. She'll be having to play catch up. The team will be having to play catch up. So threes will be there. Next up, let's move on to the World Cup real quick. Yesterday was awful. It was really bad. Like I said, we only got 2 of the corner bets that we made, and had the right read, just the wrong bets. I'm leaning on pressure today in these matches, in that I'm taking both teams to score things, some corner props, and some overs and unders, but based on the pressure that each team is under to perform a certain way. So we'll start off with Ecuador and Germany. I'm taking Germany team corners over 6.5, just to get 7 corners. I think they can get 2 or 3 in the first half. Maybe they don't press the issue. I might be wrong here, but I think they do, just because of Germany and they're that good. So give me Germany over 6.5 corners at plus money, plus 233. So $100 will bring you back $333. $10 will bring you back $33, if that makes any sense. And we're also taking both teams to score. This is a toughie because Ecuador hadn't scored a goal yet, but Ecuador needs this. They have to have this, or they are if I'm not mistaken, they are done. That's what I'm saying. And Germany's handled their business, but they're not. Yeah, they're not in a full on vacation mode. Ecuador has the pressure on them. It doesn't mean they're going to finish. They need something from this match. They just have to be more ambitious. They can't sit in the bunker for 90. They can't park the bus. They gotta go out there and play. Germany scores because Germany, they're going to create enough to score. Ecuador's going to have to push some guys forward. I think they sneak a goal in there. Um, Germany corners is the sharper of the two plays, but I really like the both teams to score in this one. Next up is Curacao and Ivory Coast. I'm taking Ivory Coast to just boat race Curacao. Like, shouts out to Curacao, great country, great showing, great everything. But Ivory Coast, who probably should have beat Germany, is coming out here with something to prove. They're the better team. This spread is crazy. Curacao already got embarrassed by Germany. Ivory Coast drew with Germany. They're giving me plus money on them to win 3-0. I think they win 4-0, but shows what the fuck I know. Who gives a fuck what you think? Just what you can prove. So I'll pay to find out if the Ivory Coast minus 2.5 is worth the trip to the window, because I already went, and hopefully I'm coming back with some cash. Next up, Netherlands minus 2.5 against Tunisia. Tunisia sucks. They've given up a bunch of goals, and Netherlands are going to just press and press and press and press and press. So Netherlands minus 2.5 against Tunisia, and Netherlands team corners over 8.5. I think they get like 10 corners, and I'm getting plus money on it. So definitely, it's a small stake, but if they're super efficient early, most of my bets are the issues are if a goal is scored early. In this one, it's trouble if they score super early, because then they don't press the issue as much when you need them to. So it makes it a little bit tough. But I still like the bet at plus money. Next up, Japan. I think last is going to be Japan and Sweden. Taking the over in that match. The Swedes have got something to prove. Japanese are really they're a solid team. They've looked dangerous. The Swedes have the attacking talent, and just really weak on defense. I think I heard somebody call it a Johnny Bravo body, in that they're really good up top, but the bottom they are lacking. They skipped leg day. The Swedes skipped leg day. So for that reason, I think Japan is going to get a lot of opportunities to score. Not going to bet aside on this like I did yesterday with South Korea against South Africa. Woof. What a beat that was. That was an awful bet. And I paid too much juice for it. Such a bad decision. But you live and you learn. That's what this show's here for, not to learn from the mistakes that we make from making bad bets. And yesterday, South Korea was a bad bet. So Japan, Sweden, we are on the over 2.5 goals. And Japan's team corners over 5.5. Like I said, Sweden's defense on the back end, not good. Japan is going to try to take advantage. I think they're going to force and press the issue. 3 corners each half, plus money. Let's take it to the window. So let's wrap it up with the World Cup card. Ivory Coast minus 2.5, Netherlands minus 2.5, Japan team corners over 5.5, Netherlands team corners over 8.5, Germany team corners over 6.5, Japan, Sweden over 2.5, Ecuador and Germany, both teams to score. Yes. And lastly, and that's it. Yeah, I could run through the WNBA one more time, but I will. And for the WNBA bets, Sparks and Tempo over 178.5, Toronto Tempo money line, Marina Mabrey over 22.5 points, Seattle Storm plus 12.5, Breanna Stewart over 19.5 points, Las Vegas Aces minus 5.5. I don't like that one too much. Dallas Wings, Las Vegas Aces over 177.5. Jessica Shepard over 13.5 points, and AZ Fudd over 1.5 made threes. Don't bet what you can't afford to lose. If a bet makes you sweat, you're not doing it right. It's Jemiah from the To the Window Sports Betting Podcast. 7-3 yesterday. Let's do it again today in the WNBA, that is. And hopefully we can't do any worse than World Cup, right? All right. You guys have a good Thursday. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Love.